Hi, Godfred. I'm just thought I would make this video for you. It's probably my all-time favorite method of trading, and I've cherry-picked this chart slightly just to give you an idea of how this works. But actually, you can trade this in any conditions, but it's slightly more difficult when you get a more horizontal chop, but it still works. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to do a chart on a more cherry-picked area. So the way this works is when you get lower highs and lower lows. So we're talking in a bear market now, but you could be talking about a bull market. So what we want to see is price move from a high to a low, and that area, there's a containment of price. So we've gone from high to low, and price is contained in this area. The price then moves up again, and then has to make a significant push to break down through this previous area of support. So we've got a ceiling there, and we've got support there, and this price action here demonstrates that principle much more easily. So we've got a ceiling here and a support here. Now these are concepts you're familiar with from previous videos I've made. So ceiling here, support here. Now the way we're going to trade, I put the fractals in to show that. You don't need fractals again. This is just to get your eye in. And we can start with this area here. So we've got support, so the market's been coming up, and then we've got an area here where markets come up, made a low, then made a high. So, and then from this point we've got market coming down here. And what I'm going to do to demonstrate how this works is you can use a line tool, but I'm going to use a shape tool because sometimes you get bigger areas. I'm not sure if I like that color. So I've gone along here. So this is the support area. We've had a push down with this candle out of this area, and we've had a pullback. But because the market's trending quite strongly, this didn't really work, and I would have missed that trade. It wouldn't have worked out. You just wouldn't have been in the trade. Now here we go again. Support, market comes up, and at this point here, at the bottom of this candle, there's a breakout candle. So if we go here, now you could have just drawn a line here, which is usually what I do because it's quick and I'm lazy. Draw a line and that's enough, but the reason I'm putting in the blocked area is just to give you an idea that we're looking at a zone rather than an actual defined area of support. So the zone usually is between. In fact, you could extend that zone downwards a bit. So what we're looking at is the low of the shadow and the next highest candle body to give us the zone. And here we've gone long, price has gone long, still hasn't really penetrated. It's penetrated there, but it's not closed below. So this is a penetration candle which validates that area of support. And then as soon as we break through that area of support, we get a retest into the zone here. So that's what we're looking at, is the first touch of the zone retest. This is the ideal world scenario. It's not always, as you'll see later, that ideal. But so we've got a zone, we've got a price moving out of the zone, closing below the zone, well out of it, well below these wicky bits here. It's come right down. So price is clear completely, lower low, lower close of all these bits of this zone that I've identified, and it's come back up and retested it. I'm just going to move this to one side, so this I'm going to bring this so we know what area we're dealing with. Now I'm going to extend it to here because this price action is still very close to the zone. So now if we go down to the 1 hour chart, so we had price clear the zone here on the 1 hour chart, and it came back and tested the zone here. So once it tests the zone and then pulls, so we want one touch test and then a pull away back from the zone. And in fact, it did this a few more times. But as soon as we get our touch and a pull away from the zone on the 1 hour chart, we're in with the trade. Now, technically, if we look at that breakout candle again, we can see that the top of the zone really is, we've been told by this fractal, which we would have got having this broken out, that is the ceiling of this zone, of this zone within the zone. Now we've got a good ceiling. I mean, this is the true ceiling, which is the previous zone, but for our purposes, we get a set ceiling, we get a touch of the zone, and we could put a stop at this high here, just judging it by eye, because if price moves back into the zone, we're going to be wanting to know where our next stop is. So it's not unusual for price to go back in, but what we're saying is price is validated by support. That support area has been validated by price touching it and moving it off. In fact, it's done it 3 times, so it's a nice strong validation of that area of holding support, but we can't see any of this. We've just seen price break out, close below, come back, touch the zone, and then bounce off. So that is a good indication this is good support. So really anywhere here, I mean, if you went for the most conservative stop, you would be going up here 70 points, but really you're at probably 37. So then as price tracks downwards and you get 20 to 30 points, you would be wanting to move your stop just above there. And if you're a really aggressive trader, you could probably move your stop above there, because if the concepts worked, I mean, you've just touched the zone and pulled back again, you're away. So let's have a look at that again. Sorry, I haven't been able to shake this. It might be hay fever. So we've come down. Price has made a low here, and then track back up again. And so it's in effect, it's given us another zone. This is back on the 4 hour chart. So we can do this. We go down to shapes, rectangle. So we've got our sorry, it's a bit below that. So this is on the 4 hour chart. Now let's have a look what that looks like on the 1 hour chart, because what we've had is prices here. We've actually broken down here, and actually we've cleared that area there. I mean, it'd be worth having a look. Probably not anything, but we can see if there's something there. So yeah, so that's the low price. So yeah, it broke down. It didn't. Could you count that as coming back up and touching the zone? Probably not. So that's another no trade. So we go down again, and over here I'm going to just use this tool. There's nothing there. Well, now there, I think we have got a touch. So I'm going to use a line for this because I don't think we need a zone for this. So we put in the line, we'll move this along. So there we've broken through, quite clearly we've broken through, closed below, price has gone down, come back up and touched. So if we look at the 1 hour, price has broken through, touched the zone, and in fact if we'd drawn that properly that would have been a zone, because we would have when this works, it is a beautiful trade and it is my most favourite trading technique. So here we go, we've retouched and we've pulled away. So it's literally one touch on the lower time frame. So you could do day to 4 hour, but 4 hour to 1 hour I found is the best. So here we go, come up, literally just touch that and then prices bounced away. And that's perfect because you've got very small stops on these. You can put your stops up there. Doesn't always work like that. Let's go back to daily. So as soon as price breaks through, not daily, sorry, 4 hourly, as soon as price breaks through on the 4 hour, on the wrong side now, let's get this. So we've got another one here. And what we can see is price comes down. There's not a break. There's not a lower close here, but price has broken it. You've got lower close. And you've literally just. So as soon as you see this break below, you just draw your line. And the zone here would be, because sometimes price does pull back deeper. So your zone here is this here. So it's the shadow plus the lowest body. I'm trying to get this up. It doesn't quite want to play ball. It keeps wanting to jump down. I'll move it. If I move it here. Right, that is really. I've taken it out here because the histogram won't stay in that area, but I've pulled it out here. So that the actual zone is from here. This is the retest zone. It's not the actual zone. The actual zone is probably the ceiling is there and the floor is here. I mean, we know that's the ceiling because that was a retest there, and price was rejected from there. So here we go. So we're down here. We'll move our marker line, and sorry, we'll move it to here. So we've had the breakout here. Go back down to the 1 hour chart. Don't know. This is frozen a bit. Where are we? Yeah. So we've gone to the 1 hour chart. Price has broken through here. So it came through here, flicked back up again. So it actually broke through. Hang on, where are we? Yeah, so price broke through here, First touch, bang, we're in that trade. Now again, where do you put your stop? If things are working well, you put your stop there. Otherwise, you could put your stop at the first fractal high, which is showing you some more resistance there. So if price were to move back up there, really it would invalidate your trade idea. So when the market's trending well, this is a good place. Sometimes the market will pull right back into the area, and then you have a decision to make whether you take trades in a market like that. Now you can take this whole area as your zone for your stop loss, but when the market is trending, you just want literally get the first touch and out. But that's again depending on what kind of trader you are and what sort of risks you're willing to take. So we're going down here now. Price breakthrough. Price breakthrough touches again, and that would if you you could have let's do this. So this could show you a deep retracement, and you can see here, so price came to a support area, tracked back up, so price is trading within this zone. It breaks out, makes a touch, and then breaks downwards. Now you might be in this trade here, you might put your stop here. Now price then shot up and then respected the ceiling, the true ceiling, which is this area here. So you could argue that to get the full benefit of the system, you always place your stop above the next full ceiling, but that would give you a very high stop. That would give you a stop on a 4-hour chart of 100 and something. So it may be better to take the view to take your losses early and then get in again for the next trade, wherever that might present itself. So where is the next trade? Let's have a look here. So we're down here, nothing much happens. We're down here, breaks through, bit of a pullback, but doesn't quite reach it. We're down here, price breaks through, pulls back into the area, quite far back in, then bounces out. Now you might have taken a small trade there, but it looks like possibly not. And then we keep going. And you've got a lot of when you get a series of when you get an area like this, price is trading all within this zone. So you would take your lowest. So where you've got a zone here, and that's made a fractal low, you get a retest with another fractal low. This now becomes the new bit of the zone. Then you get another retest, but not a lower low close. This now becomes the lower bit of the zone. So technically, but you've also got a low bit of zone here. So because market retraced up and the price action's now higher, and you can draw a definite long here, you might say, okay, I'm still going to trade off that zone, which actually would have worked if you went off there. Because I don't know if you can see here, market came down, retested, and then retested again, and then pulled back. So that would have worked if you'd gone off there. It actually would have worked if you'd gone off this one here. It would have worked off here. It would have worked off here at a different level. So, and it would have worked off there. So it actually didn't matter here. Probably this one was the most indicative of that zone, because price reached this low and then shot up and didn't break through it again until this candle here. So let's just do that. I mean, we could have actually taken any and it would still work. So here we go, we're going, price shoots up and price is trading within this area here. This is our failed trade here, possibly, depending on how you looked at it, because we had a zone here. And we'll draw that in so you can see that price was respecting again that this level here, didn't even reach it. So we come down here, once again, price is broken through, there's a so we put the price is broken through, go to the 1 hour, so we're on the 1 hour, price is broken through, there's a retest, and where's the zone here? Let's just have a look. So the huge zone, the big zone is all this area, but in fact in terms of, it really is on that line actually. I mean, you could draw a zone along the shadows there. Let's do that. Sometimes it makes it easier to visualize. So we're saying that this candle is the lowest, but then we've got these bodies here. If we go along here, I mean, there was this breakthrough and then out again. That would have just been a wick on the 4 hour chart. So we break down here, we do a retest here, and then we're off. And again, we could have put our stop just at the top there. So we're back on the 4 hour. The market starts to get quite choppy. And so what we see is, if we just look at this by eye, that's why sometimes not having fractals is a good idea. If you look at this by eye, you can see price reaches a low here and kind of zooms along here, and the high is along here, along this previous level. If we let's extend this one out, see if that's holding. I don't know what that's doing. Yeah, here we go. That's the previous level. So the trend is respecting this level here. So we make a breakout on the 4 hour, we come back and retest the zone, we go quite far into the zone, so you might decide to wait for a break of this area. So it comes out, there's a retest here, retest several times, so probably certainly invalidates this zone, well, up to a point. I mean, the market does, I mean, this whole area has got to be seen as a zone. And somewhere in here, you know, we've got resistance, 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 and you know, it only sort of makes it this high. Sometimes it will make it as high as we saw earlier on, right to the top. But so, you know, you may or may not have decided to trade that. And if you had traded it, you wait for the breakout, gone back in, it's tested up here, and then it's really come down and come past the earlier breakout. So then you would then get into that trade. And so then I think we're at the end here now, but pretty much. So market's coming down, breaking through that. Now, is that a zone? I think we'd say it was, because we're on the 4 hour. So we draw our lines there. We've got a touch here, retest, and we're going back down. We've got a new zone forming along here. So this really is my favourite way to trade. You're just going along with the trend. Look for a nice trend. It works in reverse to the upside. So let's just, for example, have a look. This might be good, just so to show you that it's exactly the same going the other way. So here we're going up. Just a quick example. There's a zone here. Zoom in a bit. So market breaks out, retests the zone, and it's away. If we look at that on the 1 hour chart, so breakout, retest. In fact, I'd say the zone here, so we're going from this shadow here, that's the zone. We've got the shadow and the body. We haven't got any other bodies higher than that until the breakout. So this is the zone. So we'll get our tool in here and we'll go down to the 1 hour. Let's hope I can find that. Where did that go? Oh, I've lost it. Right, let's zoom out. I don't know where that was. Oh, what have I done with that? Go back to the 4 hour. Oh, there we are. So that was the 16th of January. 1 hour. So we're back here a bit. Now I've lost it again. Oh dear. Here we go. So let's get it exactly. 22nd of January. So we are February. That's too far. Something's going on here. I don't know quite what I've done. 22nd of January. It's just missing that out on the chart. Weirdly, I think because somehow, well, we'll have to do it off the 4 hour chart because somehow it's missing out that area when I drop the chart time frame down. So we'll just do it on this area, but you can see, I don't know what's going on. There's some glitch in this software here. So basically, you've reached the zone, price tracks back, you can see prices flying around inside this area. So we've reached a high, price is going up, bang, 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 reached a high, retracing, makes a low. So where it makes a low is our zone, is our sort of full zone, if you like. Price breaks through, literally one touch, tap, to tap in that area and makes off. And of course, we're going to have our stop down possibly here, possibly just below the zone, depending on how much of a retracement trader you can be. I mean, some people will see that price will track into here, but because the support is there, they're going to wait for it to go back up and take the trade. I like one-touch trading, so you wait for the zone. As it happens again here, in fact, so you've got another zone here. This is a beaut. In fact, is that in the zone? Let's check it out. The true zone. So here we go. So yeah, look at that. That's, I mean, for me, that would count because it's literally tap in and out. I mean, I don't know on the 1 hour. I've tried to get this on the 1 hour, so I'd love to be able to. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's see. That's the 24th of January 2019 on the 1 hour. The 2019. goes from, you look up here, it's all that price action's in here, but for some reason, because I'm drawing shapes in there, from here it jumps from the 15th of February to here, the 28th of September 2018, to, I don't know why it's doing that. It won't let me go down to a lower time frame. This is only on a little crappy laptop, so that's probably why. So apologies for that. But you get the idea, you get the picture. If you replay this a few times, you'll certainly get the hang of it. If you've got any questions, please come back to me. It really is my favourite way of trading. And I think you'll get a lot of value from this. It just helps you read price action. You don't need the fractals because you can see, if you take the fractals out, you can see price comes down, then it moves up, and then it moves down. You've got a level here. See along here, it's retested here. You get a touch. There's a breakout. So just to show you, there's a level here. You get your first touch and you take it. I mean, where you would have put your stop, the actual true stop, so price comes down, then goes up to that high. So that is where that true stop should be if you were being religious about it. But as always, you want to take as much profit out of that scenario as you can. So where you might have put your stop at the last support area, which was probably, you got support there, which is probably acting as resistance there. So you might have put your stop there. So you would have, you've got 77. So you'd have taken. So you'd be in profit there. So anyway, and then price shoots back up, and then you get it again here. You don't need fractals. You can see it with your eye. That might have been invalidated, but you get the idea. So you can see price goes up there, breaks down there. Almost get a touch there, didn't happen there. Goes down, breaks up. Got a lovely touch there. Exactly one touch. Bing, just hits the level and down. And keep going. We've got a nice bit of price actiony stuff there, so you get a low there. I mean, that's a zone really that goes all the way across to here. So you draw in that zone and just watch it, and price will jump around. Keep watching, and then this is actually an enormous pin candle. This is quite fun, this one. What you've got here, you take that all the way across. Now that's a bit high, but that should come down a bit. In fact, once this had come down here, you'd be looking at here, and this would be bringing price action down to here. So actually, that's probably not a great example. It's long sideways movement. In fact, probably what's more relevant here is if you draw a line here, and you draw a line here, you can see this compression in price going on, and you probably would be thinking, oh, you're on a downtrend, price compression, horizontal movement, we're going to have a breakout to the downside, and you get this lovely break to the downside. So, looking back on the price action fractal videos, this is just a different, larger version of that. And as soon as you see that price action compression going on, you draw in your triangle. You could take the triangle further. You could have taken it to there, which makes it probably not actually, because you hit the floor here. The floor's here along these wicks here. So you probably wouldn't take it that far back. To be fair, you'd probably be going to about here, where the compression starts and it really picks up on this, gets really steep here, then you're going to be looking for your breakout along here, which happens here, bang, down, price goes down. Here's another, so you get a floor here, and the zone is here, price moves back up, wicks up and then down. So there's various different ways you can play this, but I've given you the kind of the simplest version. It's nice when you get a sort of purposeful flowing market. That's the easiest way of approaching this. Here's a nice one. So you've got price action going flat here, and then you get a wick coming off here, which is slightly different variation, which you could take. In fact, there's no zone really there, but there is a nice wick back off that level. Let's see, there's one here. So price breaks out, comes back, touches into the zone, and actually the zone here. You've got to be a little bit imaginative, and it's not strictly, I mean, you can have very strict rules, or you can try and read price. It's as much as an art as a science, is just looking at where do you feel the flow of the market is. And here we can feel the flow of the market is in this purposeful upwards direction. So even though this wick comes down, and on a lower time frame, are those slight closes below that level? I don't know. But you know, you've got this area here as your actual, this is your actual stop, this is your stop loss zone. It's actually here. But we're trying to, as price action traders and as trying to get value, we're trying to get our stops. You know, and you could put your stop here is where you got some good support. So that would sort of decrease your stop size. So say you come in here, there's a touch, price shoots up here. You might have got in anywhere along here. You know, let's just say you got in there, and you're on 67 points there. So you wouldn't have made it there before this retracement spike. I mean, you could have a hard stop here, and in your mind have a soft stop here. So you can get these. I don't know if that was a stop hunt, if that was news, or what was going on there. But you know, if you had a hard stop there, that's quite a long stop. But you've still got, in this market, you've got over two. You know, just looking at this run up here, you've got over 280, 300 points. You know, in fact, it goes up a lot further. So there's one to consider. You could actually just make your stops very tight. As soon as you're in profit, move your stop up to break even, and you'll get stopped out quite a few times. But when it does run in your favour, it really will run, and you'll make a profit to compensate for all those little losses. Or you can sort of live on your nerves a bit more, have a much deeper retracement zone. In fact, you could do this whole strategy from a 1 hour, and that would give you similar kinds of opportunities. You can do this on any time frame. There's a zone here. Is there a retracement? That's not really a great example. This is a better example. Actually, that's quite a good example in a strange kind of way. It's just about reading how the market's flowing, finding a zone. There's the zone fee. So the zone is the top of the wick, top of the candle bodies. Price comes down, flicks just under that zone, but that's okay. I'll take some of that candle body. I'm happy to take a little bit, and off it goes. And then it bounces back down, reconfirms that zone, and then off it goes. and then again, this is a 1 hour chart. Same thing's happening here. Breaks out, flicks back down. I mean, there is no zone there. It's the breakout is just there. But you know, I mean, if you were going to put the zone in this time, if I was trading this and I'd taken this, I think I would allow that, which is where the support, where the candle closed. I would allow that for my kind of stop area. And that's not much on a 1 hour chart. We've got 29 points there. And we easily make double that. Yeah, so that's the way we go. So price here is trapped within these two areas. So we'd be looking at breakouts there. Or you could zoom right in. Let's have a look. Yeah, that would work, that one there. So breaks out, retest, bang, and up. How does this work? Yeah, here's another one. Breakout, retest, bang, and down. I mean, you might just take what's the ATR? So over 100, it's approximately 21. So you could just take 21 points each time on these little ones here. You could have, yeah, you get your 21. Small stop. Don't know, would that be your stop zone? Would be in there somewhere, would it? I don't know. So you get the idea. I'm not going to carry on because it's sort of, hopefully you're finding it abundantly clear now what the trading style is here. Preferably 4 hour to 1 hour, but you can drop down in time frames. Obviously the market's a lot more unstable at lower time frames, but that's your choice. So I hope you got value from that. It really is a good one to practice and get your eye in, and yeah, let me know what you think. Cheers now.